All right, ladies and gentlemen, breaking news. 5 people murdered. The accused man. I don't know if they're looking for him or they already picked him up, but let's check it out. Breaking news.
Detectives Antoinette Urcity, Deputy Chief of Detectives Kevin Bruno. I'd also like to introduce all of our chiefs, the Chief of Patrol, John Hine, Chief of BIA is Chief Talley, Chief of Constitutional Policing, Angel Navales, and the Chief of the Bureau of Counterterrorism, Dwayne DeVries. Area 1 Commander, Nikki Watson, and members of Area 1 Detective Division. We are also joined, and I'm proud to say, we're also joined here by Cook County State's Attorney Eileen O'Neill Burke and Deputy Mayor of Community Safety Gary and Gatewood. We're here to announce charges against an offender who is responsible for 6 murders that occurred in 2020. We're here because 21-year-old Antonio Reyes is charged with 5 felony counts of first-degree murder and 4 felony counts of attempted first-degree murder. Though he was charged in these cases yesterday, Reyes has been in custody of Cook County Jail since 2021, where he is being held on a separate murder charge. These are 6 lives that were brutally taken. The charges in these cases reflect the perseverance and dedication of our detectives. Since 2020, these detectives have been working to bring justice and accountability in these cases. They combed through an immense amount of physical and digital evidence, including video, while leveraging technology, connecting Reyes to each of these murders. They also received assistance from community members who played an important role in providing detectives with vital information and evidence throughout the course. This may have gone out. Can you hear me? Okay, that's much better. Sorry about that. Not once have these detectives forgotten why they do this job. They investigated these cases for more than 4 years in the memory of the victims and the family members of these victims, and also our community members who have had to suffer through this trauma. The Chicago Police Department will never forget those who have been affected by this type of violence. I also want to thank Cook County State's Attorney Eileen O'Neill Burke and her office for their partnership in reviewing these cases and securing charges. We all share a goal of making our neighborhoods safer. And this is an amazing example of how we are working together in pursuit of safety. Our detectives work regularly with felony review as this case progressed. And this work is why we now have taken the first step toward justice. The 5 murders he was charged with yesterday includes the murder of a 31-year-old male victim in the 2600 block of West 59th Street on March 2nd, 2020. The murder of a 21-year-old male victim in the 4100 block of South Sacramento on April 5th, 2020.
159.
He was also charged
with the exactly attempted murder that's at.
Of an additional victim.
Good morning, Miss ATS.
In this incident. Wow. The murder of a 16-year-old male victim in the 5200 block of South Holman on May 1st, 2020. The murder of a 31-year-old male victim in the 5400 block of South Holman on November 8th, 2020. He was also charged with the attempted murder of 3 additional victims. The murder of a 20-year-old male in the 4700 block of the 4700 block of West 59th Street on November 9th, 2020. I specifically want to speak to the shooting from November 8th, 2020.
Ladies and gentlemen, we lost a mic.
The 3 attempted murder charges are for children between
why
the
this
ages
officer
of
was
3
talking.
and 9. These children were
Just
in a
horrible.
vehicle with the
6
adult victim who was
murders.
killed in a barrage of bullets. The murder he was
Just
initially
horrible.
charged with
Hello,
and being
Mr.
held in
Ashworth.
Cook County Jail for was a 26-year-old male victim in the 5800 block of South Rockwell Street on June 24th, 2020. This speaks to the level of disregard this offender had toward human life. It's difficult to comprehend how anyone could easily take someone's life, and especially so many in 1 year. To that, we have to speak of our repeat
Can you
offenders.
folks hear the video playing, or should
When
I
we
look
are
for another
dealing
feed?
with someone who's
wondering.
this violent, we have to remove them from the streets. The collaboration between the Chicago Police Department and the state's attorney's office is the way to get there. It's the way to stop these offenders when they offend the first time. We have 6 lives, and who knows how many he may have been responsible for. We'll continue to look into that. It is not ordinary that we see an individual like this. But when we do, we must take swift action. This started when Mr. Reyes was a teenager. That's when this needed to be stopped. We have to bring attention to these types of violent crimes so that we can keep our communities safe, so that we can keep trauma down in our communities. Those who are destroying lives and destroying our community, we must stay vigilant. I want to again thank the Area 1 Detective Division for everything they put into these cases. I also want to thank the patrol officers who were first responders to the scene and properly documented the facts of the case to follow up on the part of our detectives. I also want to extend our support to the loved ones of the victims who we hope can find some measure of comfort in knowing that we've taken this first step to resolution. With that, I'd now like to introduce the state's attorney, Eileen O'Neill Burke.
Thank you, Superintendent. Good morning, all. Today is a day to celebrate the determined police work that brought these charges. And hopefully we will get some measure of justice for the families of the victims. It's sad. It's sad to think about a 17-year-old committing serial murders over the course of 9 months. How many people were taken?
You know, I'm really sorry, but they really
Defendant
need to
Antonio
tell
Reyes
these
was
people,
already
when you're
awaiting
talking
trial on murder and
giving a
attempt
speech
murder
or whatever,
charges.
you've
While
got
he
to
was in
talk
custody for
into the
those
mic,
charges, he allegedly tried to kill his cellmate with
or
a
you're not
shank
going to hear
and
it.
has charges pending there as well. Today, there's 5 additional murder charges against Antonio Reyes. If I could add on to what the superintendent just told us about the information that we know already, one victim was killed when he went to the gas station to buy a pop early one evening. Another victim was sitting in a parked car with a friend on Palm Sunday afternoon when he was shot and killed. Another victim's only crime was taking his family to buy a new puppy one afternoon. He was shot and severely wounded in front of his 3 children, and he succumbed to his injuries months later. None of these people had ever met Antonio Reyes before, and there's no reason to suspect Antonio Reyes had any reason to target them. But that's exactly what he did. So I want to acknowledge the fine detective work by CPD to connect the dots and to bring these cases in. I also want to acknowledge and applaud the ASAs who have worked tirelessly to get to this point, to meet our burden of proof. So Kevin Duboni is head of our criminal bureau. He is here, and the ASA in charge of these, of this defendant and the pending charges is Sarah.
enough either. This is a step in the right direction. We'll continue our pursuits of justice together.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to
collaboratively,
find
because we
another
know
feed,
the work that we can do to remove
but
people
this is
who
all
are
we
wreaking
got.
havoc in the streets.
All right, let me
needs
fast
to happen
forward
in
here, see if we can get a photo
and
of
that's
this
what we
guy.
continue to look forward to. With that, I'll give it back to the superintendent to open it up for questions.
Well, thank you, Deputy Mayor. With that, we'll take any questions.
Hi, Superintendent Terry Keshner,
How are you,
WBBM
Terry?
Radio. Hi, good morning. Was there a point where you realized that these shootings might be connected, or was it early on? Can you talk about that at all, sir?
Well, you know what?
Let me try this.
If you're shopping for a home, you could browse hundreds of listings, or you could compare home details all at once. Home values.
Sorry, folks. Stupid. All right. Hopefully this speed's a little bit better.
All right, all set. All right, good morning. First thing I want to do is introduce who's up here, standing here with us today. I'm joined by Chief of Detectives.
Would say that that's one feature that was very important. And I also want to note that the offender's social media footprint was fairly significant. And
right.
so
20-year-
part of this investigation
20-year-old
was being able to
Antonio
take some of those
Reyes
social media postings
charged
and
with
link it to
multiple
some of the
murders
incidents that were
and
happening.
attempted murder from
Kevin Beasy,
2000.
Cook County Chronicle.
Wow,
Was
25
there any
years.
connection between any of the victims? Were they just randomly targeted?
Oh, wait.
Or were there confrontations that
5
happened?
years.
At this point, we don't have any information that the victims were connected.
Good morning, Mayor Kawash, ABC 7 Chicago. So with that said, are you looking for any other offenders that may have been involved in these shootings, or did he act alone? Any gang activity that you know of?
At this point, several of these cases we are considering as closed. We're also going to continue to look at additional cases to see associates that he may have been with and their role in those incidents. The important thing is the facts that we were able to collect at this point specifically led to being able to identify this offender as the one who ultimately pulled that trigger and ended these innocent people's lives.
Charlie DeMar with CBS News Chicago.
How are you, Charlie?
From the way that these crimes have been described, they do sound random in nature. Have you been able to piece together any type of motivation at this point? And do you believe that there are any more victims connected to the suspect?
Well, based on the information that we have right now, and as Chief City explained, that we're going to continue to look through things. We have cases that we still have to clear. So we'll continue to work on cases. And look, let me just talk a little bit about what Chief City was mentioning. There's a collaborative effort in the way that we work around these situations right now. Gathering information, our Crime Gun Intelligence Center, where we're now tracing weapons at a much faster rate, which gets us information back in these cases, which helps us resolve cases like this a lot quicker. So those collaborative efforts are going to continue, and we're going to continue to move forward just in case we haven't uncovered something. But right now, I can tell you.
All right, folks, there you go. 21-year-old Antonio Reyes charged with 5 murders and attempted murders. And there might be more. It's an ongoing case. I know exactly where he's talking about, off 159. Our condolences to the families, and hopefully they connect the dots to other stuff, right? I wonder if he was an illegal alien. Is that what they're going to probably say next, right? But there you go. As more info comes in, they're not giving us a photo yet, but this is the only feed I found on this. And it's, it just broke now. But thank God they have the guy in custody. So at least we know he won't be killing anybody. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you have a great day. I'll be back here shortly. It's cloudy, crappy, rainy. it was warm, but then it got a little bit chilly last night, and stuff froze up and stuff. You folks have a great day. God bless, and we'll be seeing you around.